Wow. I'll turn this light up. Nobody's gonna see anything. I highly doubt this is working. Okay. I have almost no signal. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So I thought I would try to go live on the native YouTube just because it doesn't take as much data to do 480p on this guy. And actually, I wasn't able to set that, was I? Nope, wasn't able to set the resolution, huh? Oh well. Yeah, it's me again. Hey, Rob, fist bump. I imagine it looks pretty bad, uh, considering, but I have my Xiaomi camping lantern. Oh, let me turn this little auxiliary light on over here. There we go. Fishpole light hanging in the front. Oh, come on, do this. There you go. Yeah, pretty 2007. Yeah, well, it should. I mean, we're back in Periscope, man. Yeah, I'm getting like um, point 0.8 up and like maybe 4 or 5 down. So this should be basically an audio broadcast with no video. Let me do this though. I'm going to stand up, turn around, just kind of show you what it's like here, as far as that's possible with this terrible signal. This is the bunker. I have my Xiaomi. There we go. Yeah, this tripod, I don't want to fall over. There's a ton of wind, and that's keeping the mosquitoes out. So I got my rum, my stainless steel vacuum. But I gotta tell you, I can see a lot of stars, even though it's overcast and cloudy. I can see stars, so this is gonna be a good place for astronomy. I haven't used the YouTube native app in years. I'm afraid to touch any buttons because I don't know what they do. It's gravel. And when I pulled in, because some of the gravel's actually heavy in certain places, I almost got stuck. Fortunately, I didn't panic and gun it, but I just kept going. Slowly increased the gas just a little bit, but hey. Anyway. Well, I'm trying to, do a live stream and share the evening. I did bring my, yes, thank you, finally. Thanks for hanging in there. I did bring my projector, and I have a lighter plug AC adapter and a long cable. I was thinking about shining a movie on the side of this bunker, just sit out here, but I'm probably gonna fall asleep for a while. Really windy, it's good, it's keeping the mosquitoes away, but even though it's overcast and cloudy, not totally, there's clouds, right? Yeah, I should have brought the DJI mic too and just plugged it in. I could do this, but yeah. The wind is keeping the mosquitoes away. But even with the clouds and overcast, I can still see enough stars to know that this is going to be a really good place for astronomy. So that's what I'm interested in. So I have one of my battery-powered amps and my guitar. So I've got my projector. We could have a show. It really was. I did a little drone flying today. As soon as I got up in the air, it said wind warning, it can't return by itself. I ignore those because that Mini 3 Pro is so, I mean, in sport mode, the thing can go like 65K, so they have been terrible. You're absolutely right, because I did go out back at the house and try to just enjoy myself in the backyard. You got to have a fire burning, just smoldering smoke, just to get rid of them. But so today, right now, as you can hear the wind, it's a little too much. So let me do this. All right, I don't want to get too close. I'll just do this just so it's a bit closer, and maybe sound might be a little bit. Yeah, rum and some soda water, and I better put some more soda water in it because it's still tasting a little bit strong. I'm not gonna drink this whole thing. So on my camping chair, I'm just gonna kick back and maybe sleep out here for a couple hours. So signal deteriorates. Yeah. One managed to get me on the shoulder. Oh, I'll put it back out here. I don't know. Maybe away from my body. Maybe away from my body it's better. I don't know. Matthew fist bump. How's it going? I didn't bother with the light, but hey, get off of me. Hey, get off of me. It's a stink bug. I hate those. All right, let me turn this thing on here. All right, that's a little bit better. So I got my hiking stick, and I got it's like I'm fishing, for squid. This is an auxiliary light that plugs into the Xiaomi camping lantern, and it's actually a flashlight on this end, and it's got a carabiner on it. And I got it hooked on this, so okay. Oh yeah. I understand. Yep, I understand you're doing that mix today. So it is like a camping adventure, except I got my car over here, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I got a really terrible signal, and so I'm using YouTube native app. This is actually a bunker. This is a military bunker, and I showed that at the end of my last non-live stream video that I did. I'm out here by this bunker. Cars over there. I got the black V guitar, one of my Newx battery-powered amps. So I've got my Xiaomi projector and a big cable I can run from the car for power. So we can have a party out here. They actually have a big white fence, but it's mostly covered with foliage. But actually projecting it on the side of this bunker would be pretty cool. But I don't think I'm going to do that. It's just too nice. I don't want to. Who knows? And I am drinking, so I got to stay here for a little while. I'm going to make sure that I am sober for driving. But it's it's early. It's 21:28, so it's 2 minutes until 9:30 p.m. Excuse me. Hopefully, the low resolution of the native app is going to transmit, better. Of course, the Pocket 3 and Prism always is 720. I don't usually go higher than 720 live, but 720. I couldn't even do 72 out here. But this is a place that Hsinchu County has built to try to promote stargazing, and it's dark. It's nice. There's only a couple lights over there. Now they put some lights in this parking lot, but they're not on yet. And you see these red lights behind me? In Taiwan, whenever they have construction, they have to fence it off, and they put these lights on, and they run all night. It's actually a pretty good safety measure. Lets people know that places are under construction, right? And fact, the whole road has construction up and down there. They're redoing parts of the road. But this is going to be an actual park for stargazing. And this whole section right here is open 24 hours. So like I'm not even, I mean, if Steve Wallace was in Taiwan, he wouldn't have a channel because nothing you do here is illegal. Nothing's stealth. You don't have to worry about it. I can sit out here all the time, you know. I mean, seriously. I could take my pants off and just sit here in my drawers and enjoy this nice, beautiful, you know, take a moon bath or whatever. Nobody would care. It just doesn't matter, you know. The main thing you don't want to do is litter. I got trash bags in the car, you know. And so, hey, got everything I need. I got trash bags, toilet paper, water, you know, alcohol, wipes. It's like, holy cow. Got lights. I've got at least 2 liters of water. And the reason I brought so much water is because this is a gravel. This is a gravel, step 2, exactly. There you go. Right. This is a gravel parking lot, and it's kind of thick over there. And I knew I was going to get a little bit, yeah. I was going to get a little bit deep, and I almost got stuck coming in. I got to be careful going out. So I prepared. Hey, if I get stuck, I might have to sit here for a while, so I need some water. Yeah, I like Steve. I think he's a good person, and it's too bad that, you know, his wife passed, and then Glenn, his neighbor, passed. And he's hanging in there. But you know what I'm saying? He like goes out, he's camping disguised as a businessman or as a construction worker and all this stuff that just wouldn't work here. Seriously, the cops could come in here right now and I could leave the camera on and say, hey, I'm doing a live stream, is that okay? They would just go, okay. And they'd say like, so everything okay? Yep. And you're drinking, right? Yeah. And they would probably just say, well, just make sure that, you know, when you're ready to drive, you know, you're not under the influence. Yeah, well, Steve's got money. Don't worry about that. Because behind the scenes are people that are helping him, you know, in business and management. And, you know, not because of the money, it's because they, you know, they love the guy too. So I understand what you're saying, but he's not alone. And he's getting whatever help he needs, but I'm sure he's not going to talk about, you know, that level of stuff. But yeah, I know what you mean. I worry about him too, but you can tell when you're watching him and he's talking about, you know, in the moment that he's in, all these things happen to him. He's not really reflective and so that's what I'm saying. He's not, you can tell that he's not like stuck in the past and you know, he can't like, I mean, I can't imagine how hard it must be to lose your wife, you know, but like, not every show's about Jess, right? So that's what I'm saying. So he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. I have faith. He's gonna make it. But what I'm saying in contrast, right? It would be like MJ's camping channel. It'd be like, well, this week we're gonna camp in front of the police station. And we'll have the police come out and they'll say hi in the live stream. I mean, you guys remember when I used to do Periscope and I would go into 7-Eleven and buy a beer, remember that? And I would take it out and I'd be holding up this beer, drinking beer. There was a famous one that I did. One of my, excuse me, I'm sorry, one of my more viewed live streams was at the Hukou Day Market. And people were asking me about how's Taiwan, what's it like to live there and stuff. And I said, it's open, it's free, it's really cool. And I said, watch this, because I was in the mood for it. I went across the street to 7-Eleven, kept the camera on, set the gimbal down, opened the beer on the counter in the store while she's handing me my money. People were like, oh, wow. And I went outside and I got the camera, the gimbal in one hand, and I've got my beer like this in the other hand, and I saw a cop and I waved my hand like this at the cop with the beer, and what I had done was I held it out so people could see me do this, right? And they're all freaking out. Oh my gosh, the cop's gonna see you drinking. Like, we don't have open container laws like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, this has maybe about this much rum and the rest is soda water, right? I could have this crotched in my car, driving down the street, hit a police checkpoint. Oh, you drinking? Yeah. Okay, we'll pull over the side of the road. Okay. Blow the breathalyzer. Okay, you're not drunk. See you later. I would just tell them, I'm on my way home. I'm done. I'm just having a sip. A lot of people in Taiwan, they go to the store to buy liquor. And it's a 5 or 10 minute drive. And so they crack the beer in the car and they drink it on the way home because they're not going to be drunk, in 10 minutes. So it's a lot of fun. That's cool. I remember I did that in the States. I had a cup holder on my dashboard in my Jeep. And I went down the back roads behind where I lived. It is harmless and it's reasonable. This is a place where you can have a nice life and everything is reasonable. Anyway, so I went the back roads to this shopping mall and I got a 6-pack of beer, threw it in the passenger seat on the Jeep, and it's a 3-minute ride. So I cracked the beer, took a sip, and put it in the cup holder on hanging off the dash. And I'm telling you, it was a mile and it was like not very far. And I was like the most paranoid guy. I was like, oh, what if one of the neighbors sees me? Because people will call the cops. I mean, it's crazy. Now, I have called the cops on some crazy stuff, but not just some guy cracking a beer. Let me see what it says. I missed it. I'm sorry, I missed it. Can I see that? Oh, sorry. How do I get the comments back? Do I do this? No. Oh, Chapman, I can't. Oh my gosh, I hate that. I can't get it back. Can I? Sorry, I haven't used. Okay, I'm sorry, man. I haven't used this in so long. Would you mind just repeating that? I'm sorry. That's a pain in the neck. My bad. I wish they wouldn't fade out. I wish they would stay on the screen for me and I could go like this, but I don't see how I can scroll. Wait a minute. Oh, I can. Oh, I'm stupid. I did that one time. Going 3 blocks to wait my wife. As soon as I cracked my step 2, cop pulled up behind me for a minute, was sweating it. Yeah, exactly. But the fact that we have to sweat it is just, I hate that, I'll be honest with you, we're planning a trip back to the States. And one of the things I'm worried about is overzealous law enforcement. You did type it again, and I'm sorry you had to do that. I was able to pull it up. But yeah, I am kind of concerned, about overzealous law enforcement. Pulled behind you, yeah. At least he didn't go, woo! Give you the, Excellent. We used to practice making cop sounds, right? When you're on the road playing in a rock band, going from town to town, sometimes just being on the road, like packing up, being on the road, it just, yep, I understand. Thing is, though, one of my friend's cousins is a state trooper, and he was saying that, hey, I can always tell when something's up, because these dudes, they'll be parked in the cruiser, and these dudes will come around a corner. Then suddenly they change their demeanor and they do what they call the chicken walk. That's what the cops call it. The chicken walk is a person who is purposely trying to look cool and innocuous instead of just actually being cool and innocuous. Innocuous. So a person doesn't have anything going will see the cop and go, oh, okay, and just, and they wouldn't do the chicken walks. These guys come around a corner, all of a sudden they're doing the chicken walk, and they know something's up, right? So that's kind of how it is, and they're trained in body language and stuff. So you just don't act any different. Got a beer crotched, but he walks by the car, he doesn't look in, so, what are you doing, whatever. So I was going to talk about one of the craziest things I saw though. I was on the highway, man, outside of Boston, Route 128, America's Technology Highway, and I was heading away from where I worked up to New Hampshire on a Friday night, and I had been working late. It was after dark, it was like 8:30 or something. And I don't like to speed. I will go every, inch of speed that I'm allowed to go at the speed limit, but I won't speed. There's a lot of people that go a little bit below, so I'm always coming up on people and, politely going around and stuff. So I'm as I recall, I was in like either the far right lane, or one lane inside of the far right. And all of a sudden, this truck looms up because he's going slow, and I'm approaching him, and the truck is black, and there's no lights on at all. And so I'm like, whoa. And so, because there's no lights, the truck has, there's a cab with a big window behind it. I can see the outline of the driver, and he is silhouetted, okay, because the light's coming into the front windshield. So you understand what I'm saying? I see this silhouette of this guy, his head from the back, and what I see is, I see a bottle going like this, and I see yellow liquid like this, and I see this right as a silhouette, and I'm like, oh man, this no wonder. You know what? I gotta tell you, I told my wife this a long time ago. She didn't believe me. Most drunks don't turn their lights on because they don't notice their lights are out. They're driving down the road, man, thinking everything is cool. Oh, I'm cool. Cops will never know I'm drunk. Yeah, turn your lights on, dipstick. What's wrong with you? So yeah, and I actually called the cops and reported him, but he disappeared. I don't know. He just black truck, no lights. The guy disappeared. I don't know how I lost him. To this day, I don't. I try to keep up with him, and try to tell the cops like I lost the guy. I don't know how I did, but I did. One of the crazy things that happens, but hey, I'm really digging it out here. This is nice. I should have brought my cot. I got one of the, National Geographic makes some camping stuff. Now, it's not light. You're not going to backpack with it, but I got one of their camping cots. And I did take it camping once and put it in the tent. My wife in Phoenix slept on inflatable mattresses in our tent, and our tent is, big enough for 3 people, right? So, oh, good, you can hear that. Excellent, excellent. I was hoping you could. I was kind of upset because I packed everything in the car, and when I was on the road, I was like, I forgot my recorder, my Zoom recorder. But what I can do is I can turn the Pocket 3 on and just let it record video, and it will make a separate stereo track of the 3 ambient mics. There is a wind problem, though. I do have a wind muff for the Zoom, but anyway. I can come out here anytime I want. But hey, it's really nice. I'm looking forward to. Oh, my phone just reminded me. It's bedtime reminder. So I've been trying to go to sleep early, but I haven't been doing it. So Yeah, exactly. Well, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to turn the Pocket 3 on after I do this and just get some nice ambiance. You know, maybe I'll fall back and, you know, who knows. YouTube is full of these ambiance videos, you know, 10 hours of relaxation for sleeping and that kind of stuff. And you remember on Periscope, there were so many different kinds of live streams, and oftentimes it was just somebody asleep, you know. I've seen so many live streams like that, people asleep. Listen to that. Some big conifers over here. And a few minutes before I started this live stream, a huge burst of wind came through for about 60 seconds. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I do too. I do too. So I was saying about, you know, this National Geographic cod. I mean, it's built like a tank. It weighs about 1,000 pounds, you know, steel frame, powder coated, with a brown vein, you know, is the color. But I slept in the tent with it, and there's two spreader bars, one at the head and one at the foot, and you spread that thing out, and it's taut like a drum, man, like boing. You could, you know, bounce a bologna sandwich off that thing, okay? So I slept great, and I was thinking, hey, I should bring it out here. So, and the cool thing is, on top of the bunker, right? I mean, it's totally flat. See that? It's actually pretty big. I could put the, I could put the cot up there. I could bring my grill. I mean, I'm thinking about moving in this bunker, man. Nobody lives here. I should just move in. Watch my last video. Um, I don't know if people even caught this, but I kind of trolled everybody on my last video. Not last live stream, the last edited, recorded video that I did. I went to the end of it with the drone and I said, thanks for watching. Maybe a lot of people quit the video, and I wouldn't blame them. Probably people quit before that, but then it said, oh wait, we have bonus footage. And I was standing on the other side of my 360 on the selfie stick, and I shoved it in, and there's a doorway, and there's three windows, and I went in every one of them to look at them. And the last one, I stuck it in there for a long time, so when the editing software, I could pan around. So I don't know if you guys actually saw that or not, but hey, it's there. I want to say hi to all 4 people that are watching. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Fist bump 3-4 to all you guys. Yeah, I've never really tried to build my channel, but you know, it's been fun. Wait a minute, hold on. Grayson. He sneezed out a piece of bone. Oh, okay, so you think maybe he fell and damaged something, like, you know? Oh boy. Kids are tough though. The thing is, you know, they can break stuff. And yeah. One of the teachers I had in high school said that one of his friends, he and his wife are friends with a couple, and they had a kid, um, really, really young. So, oh wow. Okay. Well, I know you're gonna get him checked out. So he's in good hands with you guys as parents. But man, oh man. Wow. Just the thought of that though is terrible, isn't it? as a father, you're like, oh my God, yeah. Oh, but Mr. Hudspeth, that's the teacher. Their family friend, a couple, they had a baby. You know, I mean, he was not quite able to talk. So, hard white thing. You know something, Matthew? I seem to remember sometimes the tonsils, because you know they're designed to help with immunity. Um, they sometimes will produce a heart. I remember when I was a kid, I used to yawn really deep, you know, big wide mouth yawn, and some stuff would come out of my mouth, and it came from the tonsils. It was weird. Eventually, it stopped doing it, which is great because as an adult that would kind of suck. But so, yeah, exactly. And the problem is you got to find the thing and put it in a little jar and take it to the, you know. Okay, beautiful, excellent. Well, hope it's, you know, I hope it's just some normal stuff, you know, and not anything, you know. But get this, Matthew. So Mr. Hudspeth's telling me that their family friends have this kid, and this kid stinks all the time. He's got this putrefied odor around him. And so, you know, they're bathing him, and it's like, oh, you know, okay, yeah, his hair smells great. And oh my God, there's this stink. Couldn't find it. They took him to the doctor, and he had taken from the sofa or someplace a piece of foam and torn it off and put it up his nose, and it was putrefying in his sinuses. And so the doctor used, you know, some forceps and pulled it out. But apparently, the husband said that it was pretty close to being, you know, dangerous and perhaps fatal. But I'm like, oh my gosh, those, you know, ah, this is a great place though for horror stories. When you think, I mean, this could be a because yeah, completely variable light, you know. And the other thing too, I love about this Xiaomi, right, is if I do this and I hold these, hang on, get off of there. Now I can change the color, so complete control over the colors. And turn this up. This is nice and bright red. It really was a dark and stormy night. But the wide range, and I mean, some of the colors they have are just fantastic. I love these purples. And the other one that I like is this really deep, like turquoise blue. Of course, it's hard to see if I turn it down. Not so intense. This is great. I love this. But we're just gonna go. We're just gonna back on it. Oh, and just in this standard white light mode, if you press the it's a volume control basically. You can change the color, you know, so it's kind of yellowish or pure white. The blue range or the red range. Let's put this back up here. This one you can't vary, but the cool thing about this thing here is it plugs into the main light and it charges when it's plugged in. So, and this Xiaomi light, I charged up. I think it's an 8,000 milliamp hour battery. I want to make sure nobody typed anything while I was, well, okay. And I turned it on the lowest power and let it run for 2 days, and it was still on 40%. So I'm like, I'm confident I can run this thing all I want tonight. No problem. But this light is really cool. You can't adjust, you cannot adjust the intensity. Let me do this. See, there's a carabiner at the top. I've got it attached to my pink hiking pole. But at the bottom of it is a flashlight, okay? And then if I turn it off so you can see it, it's kind of like a tube light, you see? And so press and hold it, turn it back on, and then if you press it once, it alternates between the flashlight and this auxiliary light, right? But the cool thing is, I don't know if you can see it, in the front of it, yeah, I guess you can. In the front of it, there are contacts. Yeah, you see those brass contacts there? And it's a bayonet. So you put it into a receptacle. There's a flap in the top of this lantern. You pop it in and you turn it, and it charges this, and the charging light comes on. It's like, holy cow, how smart are these people? Very smart. But even this thing like this is a nice little light, you know. And what's great is you've got the lantern. Let's say, you know, you're camping with your family, and you've got this thing sitting on the floor of the tent on minimum, you know, intensity. So kids wake up, they're not scared. Oh, so, you know, okay. Oh yeah, I remember we're camping with mommy and daddy, no problem. You know, or even you adults, you wake up, you go, oh, where's my glasses or whatever, right? So, okay, Rob, good to see you, man. Hey, too bad you can't make it out here, bro. Yeah, bring the cot. Tell him, man, it's beautiful out here. Whoa. And yeah, amazing. I'm talking about the Xiaomi light here. And so the great part about it is, if you got to leave the tent, go out and take a leak, you take this thing with you, flashlight, you know. But it's got the carabiner on it, so you can hang it on a line, you know, and go cooking and stuff. It's like, man, I can't say enough about it. But Rob, I think you may know that I bought a telescope a couple months for my daughter. It has a telescope kind of, thank you. Thanks, Matthew. You always welcome everybody coming into the stream. I appreciate it so much. I have no plans. I told my wife I was going to this place tonight, and she was looking at her phone. I said, I'm going to bring the camping chair. I'm going to have a little something to drink, and so I'll stay for a while. I might kick back and I might kick back and did not say a single word. Taiwan Alapua. That's it. Taiwan wife for you. People ask me, how come you go out and your wife never calls you? I have no idea. I guess she trusts me. I guess she goes, the last thing I kind of worry about is a 68-year-old man cheating on me. But seriously, I didn't bring the cot, but this is my camping chair, and the angle of it, everything is great. I can slide down a little bit, and you know the fabric on the back. Oh yeah. But even though it's overcast, but not completely, I can still see a great deal of stars. And what I was trying to say was, I bought a telescope for my daughter, and actually I have the auto guider coming tomorrow, because we like to do astrophotography, right? And so this place, you probably know this, Rob. You seem to know everything else about it. But out here, this is actually the stargazing park. They haven't turned on the lights in the parking lot. There are lights there, because I checked them out. They're not on now. If I turn these out, it's totally dark except for ambience. There's a street light way over there. There's one over there behind the trees, but everything else is just city lights, because we're up on a hill. I think this, if memory serves, this place is 400 to 500 meters above the surrounding terrain. You know, that's pretty respectable. It's over 1,000 feet, right? So I'm already seeing constellations that I can make out. I'm like, wow, because like where I live, the realty company across the street has a 24-hour marquee going on. It's like a TV show all night. I'm like, oh God, when these guys came in. Then there's a couple Bing Long places, 24 hours. They got these lights flashing. I'm on my roof, right? I could read a newspaper on the roof of my house just from the ambient light. But I also can get some pretty good astrophotography from up there. So yeah. No, it's actually the bunker. Yeah, and as I said, the bunker's flat on top, right? Which is nice because there's enough room for a cot up there. And I do have one of those instant tents. Let me see something here. Hang on, I gotta check something out here. Hold on, not this. I gotta see this. Okay, just want to make sure how much battery I have. I have one of those instant tents. That was very strange. Hold on. A shadow cut across me. Yeah. Just want to make sure there's no jokers out here goofing around. Now there's nobody out here. And there's gravel over here, so nobody can sneak up on me, but it's like, when you're out here by yourself and the shadow cuts across you, you better get up and take a look, right? Anyway, that's flat on the top, so it would, and this whole thing is gravel, so you could put, you could safely put your grill down there, and not worry about burning anything up. Of course, this thing here, it's made out of the local aggregate and just some concrete. I mean, probably built this in a day. It's thrown together, but yeah. And truth is, Rob and I were joking about this offline about crawling in the darn thing and taking one of those Taiwan stainless steel tables, right? And bringing some adult beverages down there and hanging out. So I think what happened was, I think a bug flew in front of this thing, made like a shadow pass. Because they have been kind of attracted to those lights a little bit, so I'm not really paranoid, and I don't scare easily, you know. And you guys know, because I talked about this, I had an encounter with Bigfoot in 1976. And kind of after that, it's like nothing else matters, you know. Yeah, I smelled the stench. Yeah, I heard the bellow and the scream. That means, I really don't want you here. And yeah, he didn't have to explain it to me more than once. So we got out of there. But yeah, so there's no Bigfoot in Taiwan. I know, because I asked. I check out legends, But I gotta tell you, I never expected that Korean people would understand the word Yeti natively. That freaked me out. Really? Oh, okay. Well, if he lives in a lean-to, it's because he doesn't want to be bothered by people. And so I'm over here. But if this guy came over here, he would probably be pretty cool. Probably just ask me for some money, maybe. I always got money for people like that, But I got plenty of water, and got a Yo Bezama. Let's give a glass. Actually, the truth is, and you know this, as far as like human interaction, this is a very, very safe place. I'm more likely to get hassled by some dogs, from the farm over there or something. Or even in some places, they have kind of wild dogs that have broken away and, have puppies in the woods and stuff. So I do have my hiking stick. I thought it was essential that I at least bring my hiking stick, because if I can't, I'm just sitting out here in the open, and I do have my back against the wall here for a reason. But if suddenly there were a couple dogs coming out here, I got my light, and when you shine your light into their face, they can't see, and that's when you can take advantage of them being blind. But I just brought the stick because I thought it might be a good idea to have it. I'm not going to go hiking, but what I might do is I don't even want to do it. The actual trail is just right down there, some stairs, and I don't want to turn my light on and go down there and get my eyes all goofed up from the bright light. But I think I'm going to turn on the Pocket 3 later and just do some ambient light filming. The Pocket 3, in my opinion, has a big flaw, because I'm an audio guy. I gotta have audio files, right? So I have the microphone, and it records a mono signal, and it sends a mono signal to the video track in the Pocket 3. That's fine, but simultaneously the Pocket 3 records the triple mic ambient microphone array in stereo, and I can extract that and pop that into DaVinci, and it's great. I got the stereo ambience, plus I've got the regular track mono, right? Excuse me. The problem is when the Pocket 3 is in low light mode, it doesn't record the ambient mic track. What would Casey Stern do? He would go something like that. That's what I feel like doing. So the thing is, right, is if I do some of this Pocket 3 recording later on, part of the reason I want to do a Pocket 3 recording is I just want to have those ambient mics catch this. I would like 20 or 30 minutes of this nice, the bugs, the frogs, the birds. I got to do it on normal light mode. The Pocket 3 on normal light mode is not bad. The ISO can go pretty high, but I'm going to have to set the upper limit to max. But the low light mode is off the charts. I shot the the Shanghu Park. I shot that in low light mode, and when I imported the media into DaVinci the next day, that's when I realized I didn't have the stereo track, and I was pissed. So now I want to see that again. I want to make sure that I can't stand that. Okay, Taiwan's only Western. Yes, exactly. That's funny. Rob, I'm on the end where I live. We would call these townhouses, right? 4 stories, like a condo. Next door, he's got a big dog out back, 3 dogs in the front. No training, no nothing. He's scared of the wild. He's scared of the bad guy. So these are all watchdogs. I've been in his house. He's got nothing in there. Unless he has a safe gold, I didn't see it. After that, the next guy's got 2 dogs. Same thing. They don't train them or nothing. They're not part of the family. They don't take them anywhere. They're tied up, or they're in the foyer or in the garage. We had one of those mesh openings between my foyer, which, and his garage, right? I boarded it up. I had my friend Ed make me gave him a drawing and made some panels and shot them in with big bolts, self-tapping, and yeah, it cut it down, but it doesn't make it go away. Then you know, Gabita, right? It's like 3 doors down. They got two of those little Japanese dogs that are pretty cool. But they got another one that's a puppy. It's like, uh, I want to get a dog just so I can show them how it's done. I tell people in Taiwan, I had a dog back when I had my first studio in 1981. I had a dog named Petey. He was a part beagle. I got him at the magic number, 5 weeks. He was like this big. I taught him on hand signals because, you know, in English, speak, stay, sit, they're all like, right? So I had to go, you know, speak, stay, sit. The dog could roll over and do a number of commands on hand signals. I remember I trained the dog so well, I went to the bank and, like, this meant attention. He's looking at me. He sat down. Oh, by the way, if I went like this, it meant to lay down. So anyway, so I went, sit. I didn't even say it. Stay. I was gone for an hour. I came back. He was sitting right there. He knows what to do. They're very smart. They're looking for leadership. Okay, they're pack animals, and if you're the leader, man, they'll follow you. But these people don't know that. And so they put him in a stainless steel cage, and the dog goes nuts out of his mind. It's an intelligent mind. Just like I had a parrot, an Amazon parrot. It used to answer the phone, used to answer the door. It used to say bye-bye when I was going to hang up because it knew, you know? And it's like, I would be eating food in front of the bird, and she would go like, I'm a good girl. And then one day, my Amazon parrot, I'm eating food that I know she loves, and I'm just having a blast teaser, right? And my wife and I are going like, oh, this is so good, right? The parrot said, I'm a good girl. And I dropped my fork, and I was like, how do you know the adjective in that sentence? And people don't believe in a God. Oh, evolution did that. ID, intelligent design. Guys, it's a real thing. So I'm like, what are you, a genius? Yeah, probably. So naturally, I just filled her bowl with whatever it was I was having. She had a blast, right? But sometimes I just want to get a dog so I can walk past these people's houses and go, and, you know, he puts on a kilt, you know, gets a dram of whiskey and just like, you know, smokes a cigar. I don't know. I'm just saying, I just want to show him how it's done. But but one of the things that bugs me is that, of course, in Taiwan, you know, there's a big history here, and a lot of it has to do with a display of your means of life. And so people still sometimes do things in Asia to look rich. There are many stories online about Thai families where, like, a white guy will marry into a Thai family, and the mother-in-law will ask him to buy a junk car that doesn't run and just park it in front of the house, so everybody thinks they're rich because they have a car and they don't need to drive it. Stuff like that, right? And so there was a period in time in Taiwan where people owned a dog because it meant I can afford to feed an animal. I've got enough money to feed my family and extra. And some of that still kind of exists today. Some of these people have dogs. Well, most of them have dogs simply as a possession. It's not part of the family. I mean, my dog did not sleep outside. He did not sleep in a cage. And I had a certain expectation of behavior for him, the same as I would have for a child. Like my daughter knows acceptable or unacceptable behavior, so do my dog, Petey. And when I would tell him to go lay down, if I was punishing him, this dog was so smart. I would just say, "Go lay down." I'm mad at, I was mad at him. Go lay down, and he would go lay down. And I wanted him to face the wall, and I would just look at him and go, and he would turn around and face his face to the wall. It's like a kid, you put the kid's face in the corner and punish him. You know, he was a part of the family, and he knew it. So yeah, I don't see that here very often. Of course, the foreigner families are different. You might be right. I'm certainly open to that criticism. But where I live, I'm not really sure if it's rural or urban. And I don't spend enough time. Like, I hate Taipei. I go to Taipei once every 5 years because my child, my kid has a child's passport. Got to renew it every 5 years. We go to Kaohsiung to visit my family, and I don't run across people with dogs, but around where I live around here, yeah, everywhere. But the people that live on my block are sophisticated. They're business owners. They're not, it's like, I don't know. But yeah, you're probably right. I am kind of painting sort of a broad brush, but for sure, the old style thinking about, have a dog, it means I'm rich. That was a thing. And there are still other things that mean I'm rich now. So, okay, I would too. And I live in the industrial park, right? And, excuse me, I would come home sometimes and somebody would put a note on my door. Hey, I'm an engineer. I just moved into this area. I'm renting an apartment. This would be on a note on my door. Do you want to sell this house? I want to, I work down the street. I'd like to live here. So, oh wow, man, if you're 5 minutes, if you're 5 minutes away from 7-Eleven, you're in no man's land. Amazing, for sure. What's the old saying? There's a temple every 100 meters, right? But a 7-Eleven every 30 meters or something. It's crazy. There's a bug flying around that light. That's what casts the shadow. The other thing too is this light's over here, and my head and my hat's casting a shadow on the ground. And with my peripheral vision, I'm looking at it and I'm going, oh, nothing. Well, that's nothing, so it's okay. But I'm kind of digging the ambiance of this. Um, in all truthfulness, since I have started the stream, it's failed once and came back. But is the picture quality, is it like okay? I mean, is it passable? I'm probably not going to delete it. There's some good stuff. We got some good interaction. This is fun, but I wish I could get a better signal. Maybe what I could do is use the Pocket 3 and put the phone, because the Pocket 3 connects to the phone, right? I could put the phone on a 40-meter pole or something and get it up in the air. That'd probably actually work. So it's 22:19. I'd say I'm probably going to stay here to 2 or 3 a.m. I usually, well, I'm going to say 1 or 2 anyway. So good, excellent. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay, that's good to know. It may have kind of set in. I won't touch it. I'll just leave it. That's good. I know what you mean. And when you're kind of like, you know what I'm talking about. There's a section, right? Okay, okay. That's to be expected. And that happens even when I'm like down the street from my house, quite frankly. But you know what I'm talking about, where it kind of like falls off. Taiwan is amazing. You can be in the city, downtown, bustling, high rises, 25, 34 apartment buildings. 5 minutes away, you're like, wow, this is a rice paddy, man. This is cool. There's green everywhere, you know? And then off a distance, there's a high speed rail. It's like, it's amazing. So when you're in that little zone where it falls off, sometimes you can find some amazing things. I had a friend that lived in a house in that kind of an area in Huko where it was just a little bit away from the main section. And yeah, I love it too. This house had 8 bedrooms, and it had a kitchen, and had all kinds of like balcony space and a 2-story living room, and a wall around it. It was like a compound. That's what they would call it in the United States. They would call it a compound. It would be like on the FBI's list. Yes, it'd be like on the FBI's list of places to watch. So my dream would be to find one of those 3-sided traditional houses, right? You know what I'm talking about? They got the 3 halls, and restore the outside so the brickwork, the tiles look as original as possible, but the inside looks like the Federation in 2350. I mean, like state of the art recording studio, gym, amazing living room with marble and, uh, that's to me what would be cool. You're on the outside and, you're like, wow, this looks like a set for a kung fu movie. Yeah. You walk inside, wow, this looks like a set for a sci-fi picture. So that's what I want to do. But convincing the waifu is another story altogether. That's WAIFU for those of you who don't know. Who don't know. Did I say that? That's WAIFU for those of you who don't know. The waifu. Yes, that's always the factor, isn't it? It's always the factor. What would we do without them? So, Rob, without giving away your exact location and all that, how long, like, would it take you? You know where this place is. How long would it take for you to drive here? Just round numbers. I'm thinking like 25 minutes, right? Something like that, maybe. You did kind of tell me today, basically, kind of where you were. So let me just look at this. And the dad, hang on, okay. And the dad is a truck driver. Oh yeah. Yep. You know, they're just working folk, right? Okay, cool. Oh, don't call me sir. The Filipino guys call me sir. I'm like, just call me bro. Um, Sir is like my dad, and he's no longer with us. So, um, this is another thing that I try to get people to understand. Taiwan is a place where you can just be a working person. It's, I don't know what happened in the U.S., but I always felt like people looked down on working people, hardworking people. So, okay, I don't know how to describe it, but I just, because I was an engineer, but I was a working engineer. You know, I work with my hands, and I was working in a factory, the manufacturing engineer, but I had to personally do a lot of things. Like we had a side business um, producing docks, you know, for like the seasonal lake dock industry in New England. I can't tell you how many docks I personally built, you know. Look at my hands now, they're like a British guitar player. But back then, you know, I would shake somebody's hand and cut them because of the calluses, right? But what I'm saying is, I just, there's something about, I don't know, unless you worked in an office, had a high-tech job, people kind of look down on you a little bit, you know? But not here. This is a place where hard work is actually rewarded. In fact, they have a term for people who work their way up through hard work. It's called peso. It means black hand because your hands are black, you know, from working, right? And so I know a lot of black hand engineers. They're damn good. They know what they're doing. And I found out a long time ago, if you want to know how to do something, ask a welder. That's, you think, oh, that's crazy, ask an engineer. No, because the engineer will tell you can't do it. Thank you. Thank you, bro. Engineer can't tell you how to do it because he's never done it. It's only theory. I knew a guy named Roger Jenkins. Excuse me. He had a 1965 Mustang Fastback. Sorry. It was an automatic. And he wanted to put a 3-speed transmission with a Hurst shifter. So he went to his local mechanic, and the mechanic said, "No, this can't be done." Well, I drove the car, and it had the Hurst shifter, and it had the clutch, and I said, "Well, what'd you do?" And he looked at me, he says, "Look, I ain't been a welder half my life to have him tell me I can't do this." He got a torch and just cut the hole in for the clutch, you know? And so, yeah, that's the thing. We have. We have. Big time. And I've been here 20 years. I'm never going back. I can't. If I went back to the States, I would be so unhappy. I'd go to the welding shop. Can you guys do this? Nah. Give me that torch. Let me show you how to see. Taiwan is a place where you go in there like, how, could you, yeah, yes, you can, sure, like this. That's crazy. And as long as you're polite, you walk in there and you go, you know, I got a crazy idea. What's that? Well, I want to take these two drums and I want to put one on this way and one this way and I want to weld them together. And they're like, okay, go on. Yeah, but if you got a hole between them the two, then the smoke can go through here. And they're like, oh, okay. And it's like, I can't tell you how many times, like, I invented a new guitar pick with the Line app. I just told them what I wanted, and I went there, and it's like, oh my gosh. And while I was talking, one of the guys had his laptop, and he's like this, with a mouse, SolidWorks. By the time I got done talking, he said, "Oh, you mean like this?" I'm like, yes. And while we were drinking tea, he threw that into the wire EDM and cut me like several samples. Unbelievable, man. That would never happen where I live. And they didn't charge me anything. Nothing. And I said, well, how? He said, can you laser engrave these? Oh, could. Again, didn't charge me anything. Amazing. I sent them to Brian May from Queen. That's where those went. That's why I wanted them engraved. I put his name on them. I gotta see this. Exactly. Oh my goodness, you are so right. Listen, man, what Rob just said, you guys didn't know, bro, that's 150, that's 2,000% right. Because I have a mechanic, right, across the street from me. He's another one of those black hands. This guy probably didn't finish high school. I couldn't care less. That guy saved me so much money. I had a car. The first car I got when I got here, I got a beater, right? Everybody gets a beater. It was like a A 1998 Ford Fiesta. It was like this big, right? The windshield washer bottle disintegrated. It's got a big hole in it. So I'm trying to wash my windows. I'm putting washer fluid in, and I'm going, oh man, there's a oh, and then I started looking. I said, oh no, there's a hole in it, right? So I went to him. Can you fix this? He goes, yeah, I'll call you later. So he calls me later. They wanted like 5,000 NT. That's like 150 bucks for this stupid plastic thing, right? I'm like, big moth. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. He goes, leave it to me. He just whacked something together, charged me like 200 NT. Fixed the whole thing. Put some other kind of bottle in it. It doesn't matter. It's holding liquid. It just has a tube that goes in there, right? It just has to be able to suck the last little bit of the bottom, right? That's what he did. And this guy has saved me so much money. That car actually got stolen. It got recovered. And I took it over to him, and I'm like, this guy messed it all up. He wrecked the tires. He busted a rim because he's running from the cops. He ended up abandoning the car. He wrecked it on like a curb or something. And this guy fixed it all up for me, and he cleaned it. He was stealing scrap metal and sheet metal and stuff, and it's full of machine oil and stuff. Threw him in the back seat. He cleaned it all out, right? But he says to me, he goes, let me put a kill switch in. I'm like, okay. This guy, he used two screws that were already existing on the instrument panel as the contacts. So what you would do is you would turn the ignition key to the on position until the dashboard lights came on, and you would take your fingers and underneath the dashboard panel touch those two screws, which would arm the switch, and then you can turn the key on. I'm like, this guy is amazing. So yeah, you're right. Here's what I found, because I have been doing business here longer than I've lived here. You have to do things the Taiwan way, and that means you have to let them come to the correct conclusion. See, oftentimes I'll be in these meetings, and even though I've been here a long time, I understand what they're saying in Chinese, but I'm kind of like, can can we speed it up, guys? And most of the time they want to talk for 30 minutes about the Hakka restaurant down the street and how inexpensive it is. And when we're done here, we're going to go get some dishes and stuff. And I enjoy that. But it's like, I just sit there and listen to them go back and forth. I'm going, yep, I already know that. Yep, I already know that. Yep. But they don't. You have to let them hash it out. And then what happens is, when you let them come to that conclusion, because if you tell them the answer, it's not the same because they're not going through the process. When they go through the process and they understand everything, it will be perfect. But if you try to circumnavigate that process and make things go faster by cutting through it, they don't comprehend the reasons for doing things a certain way. And I had a customer that was like that. So, yes, absolutely. I had a U.S. customer. This guy's a big shot. The worst thing these guys do when they come overseas is they tell stories. Now, I'm an American too, and I love to tell stories. I got a million stories. But if you tell stories here, it confuses people. Let me give you an example. You've got two parts that need to be made, and they're made in separate factories. One is a cover, and the other is a box. Let's just say they're aluminum castings. And aluminum casting is very, very complex. It is. It definitely does. Because here's the thing, and you know this. If you go to a factory or business and you don't bond with that boss, you're dead. You can't get anything done. That's why the first thing these guys do when they meet is they open a pack of cigarettes and they give everybody a cigarette because they're going to have a smoke together. I just say, oh, I don't smoke. but I'll have some of that oolong tea. And I have studied oolong tea. Taiwan has or Hukou has a tea master. And so this is really freaky, Rob. I have gone to factories, tasted the tea, and not only did I identify the year, I identified the season that it was harvested in. And boy, that boss, he would do backflips for me after that, right? This is what I'm saying though. It's a social thing. You're absolutely right. And you have to bond with these people and let them go through the process and come through the process. Go through the process and come to the conclusions. So let's say you've got a box. There's going to be some radio parts or something in it, electronics, but you've got a cover. Now the cover is really simple. I think we're back. I'm not sure. It said reconnect. Okay. All right. So you've got a cover. It's made sand casting, low technology, but you need a box made from investment casting with a lot of machining. Here's the thing. The box is no good without the cover. Thank you. Box is no good without the cover. They have to grow up together. Okay. So if the guy gets the cover's done 3 weeks before the box is done, it doesn't make any difference. They have to come up together. This is where you get in trouble. Because if you go to the box factory and you're talking to the boss about the box, but you say, boss, because Americans, we like to tell stories. And we like to tell stories because we like the other guy to go, oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That guy, oh, yeah, he messed up. He's blah, 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 right? And we like to find that common ground and tell stories. Don't do that here. Here's why. If you're working on the box and you're at the box factory and you tell the boss, I want to tell you something. I'm having trouble with the covers. They're going to be 3 weeks late. What do you think about that? And the boss is thinking, why did you tell me this? I'm not making the covers. We're here to talk about making the box, right? And you've been telling me all along that they got to come up together. The cover and the box, they have to be finished together. So, I think what you're telling me is I have 3 extra weeks. I have been with some high-level guys at a factory and gone, shut up. What? Stop talking. What? You're about to say something that's going to trash this project. Just drop it. They don't understand what we're saying. Doesn't matter. Let me handle this. Good God. Because the guy was about to tell a story that was going to give them an extra 6 months. One of those things, right? And this is what happens. So you really got to be careful what you say and what you do. But I just sit back and keep that smile on your face, no matter what. Keep that smile on your face. And the other thing too is a lot of American guys that I work with, they'll have naturally from a business standpoint or production standpoint, it's kind of a disaster. But they're like, my life ended. And one guy said, oh yeah, this happened. And he goes, right that. And the Taiwan guy's looking at him like, does he want to kill himself? Well, let's call the doctors. It's like, here's what I say about Taiwan. Nobody ever screws up the lunchboxes. Your production parts can be weeks late, but every day at noon, boom, the bell will sound. The lunch boxes are there 10 minutes like clockwork every day. Before that, these people will eat and they'll sleep on the floor for an hour like school kids and get up and go back to work at 1 o'clock. And that's how it is, because life is life and work is work, and they don't take it the same way That way. Yes. I've actually written about that. I have some private writings, that I write. Sorry, we're back. Um, anyway, I was going, please reconnect, please reconnect, please reconnect, and I forgot what the heck I was saying. Um, so about okay. Anyway, nobody screws up the lunch boxes. Life is life, and work is work, and they don't conflagrate, I guess is the word, those two together. And so that's just how it is. Oh, now I know. Remember, hundreds of projects, the millions of NT dollars worth of stuff that I have been involved with. I have never had a single boss accept extra money to catch up something that was late. It is a good thing. It is. It is a good thing. Because let's face it, if the covers are 3 weeks late, your life really didn't come to an end. But people take it like that. It's crazy. So yeah, I never had a boss take extra money. They are. They are remarkably good. And Taiwan wives are remarkably good at separating your money from hers. That's the other thing. Am I right? Oh, this is funny. I was laughing into the bottle. I'm having too much fun out here. I actually brought my Clint Eastwood poncho with me because I thought it might be good for the mosquitoes. So, man, I can see stars out here that I can never see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, never see from the roof of my house. This is great. So as soon as it starts getting clear, probably by the end of this week, I'll have my new auto guider here. I'm going to bring the telescope here. That's going to be fantastic. And beautiful ambiance. I'm really digging it. How long have we been on? We have been on for 83 minutes and 50. Wow, that's a long time, man. Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out, you guys. It's great. Because it kind of makes the place feel, you know, lived in. It makes it feel, you know, familiar. But yeah. So, Rob, you interested in doing a live stream from down here and maybe bringing a cot or the tent? Because I got to tell you, I have a funny feeling that in this outdoor environment, some nice thick ribeye steaks, charcoal grilled, probably would taste pretty darn good. That's kind of a intuition that I have. It actually might taste better cooked over some white oak. Yeah, that'd be decent. Ugh. Nowhere to get them too, so. That's true. That's true. Yeah. See. Here's what I think. Using this bunker, the top of it's too clean. It needs some charred marks on there. And we need to build a fire on top of that thing, man. You know, cook something on it. They are casual about career because it's more about money and life. So, well, you can always wear shades and you can wear a mask. I got some shades. This is funny. I haven't shown you guys. This is hilarious. When you see a photo of somebody like on the news and they're trying to hide their they're trying to hide their identity, they put like a black, I'm talking about like a black rectangle. I have a pair of glasses like that. You can see through them, they're dark, but it's like it's black rectangle. So you just put those on, you just walk around, you've got a black rectangle on. So I think that would be, I think that'd be hilarious. That'd be great. I bought those to wear on stage because the Filipino guys are always taking my picture and putting it on Facebook. So I want to put those things on and just go ahead. They're pretty big too. They're like out to here, you know. So I got some neons. I haven't really shown those, but I got some neons. I got to do them on the live stream. I got some neons that have pink on the outside and blue on the inside, and then another pair that's blue on the inside and pink on the outside. Did I say that right? Anyway, they're blue and pink and they're opposite. But they had this big control box mounted on the side, and I was like, I don't want that. So I ripped it off. I go, yep, it's stuck on with super glue. And I measured it. It's 158 volts AC. Actually, it shocked me because I'm stupid. But I put a connector and a cable on it. So what I do is I glued it back so the cable runs behind the earpiece, and I just throw it down my back. I've been playing guitar with this thing, so it comes on steady state or slow blink or fast blink. And anyway, so I was wearing that at the Filipino club, and that was all over Facebook. But the thing that I'm concerned about is that I'll be sitting there, and then all of a sudden some lady will be like this with her phone, and they want to do a selfie with me, and I'm like, I go like this because I don't want like to look like I'm with this woman on Facebook. So I do this, or I'll do this. You know, it's crazy. Of course, everybody knows who I am anyway, but yeah. So, and I've got a wraparound black. I got wraparound black glasses too. So Rob, if you want to, you can just wear a pair of those. What you mean, camera shy? We can always have you face the other way, or we can always. I got other hats too. You can always just do this, right? Occasionally, kind of look up. So yeah, there you go. I have a replacement for this hat. The size of the crown. You man up or go home. I love that. See the size of the crown and everything. This is actually a Dr. Jones style hat, but it's gotten wet so much, and I've worn it outside, and the rim is so floppy. But at least the crown is still authentic. But I got another one. I'm gonna replace it. This one I just go home and I just do a 007, and you know. So, but yeah, man. You know, here's the thing, right, bro? It doesn't matter what you look like. You know, seriously, I have no idea what you look like. I couldn't care less. I mean, the thing is, right, is I'm not a movie star, so we're not expecting any movie stars, and so yeah, show up, and it'll just be the K and K show, Kilo Klein. I think it sounds great, because of course I'm the one with the kilos. You know, I got yeah, right. It's muscle. Actually, the funny thing is, right, we should just call it Rob and Kilo. You can just be Rob and I'll be Kilo because like I said, I got the kilos. So, hilarious. This is great. What's going to happen is I'm going to live stream until my phone runs out. So, it's called maturity, man. It's called maturity. Yeah. So I'm just going to run until my phone runs out of battery, and then I'll pop the charger on it. Then if my wife calls, I can say, "Oh, honey, my phone ran out of battery," so whatever. But I think I'm down to probably about this far. So yeah, I'm gonna drink the rest of this, and I'm already to the point like where I don't want to drive, and it's clear that I'm not drunk. I'm a little bit tired. When I get tired, I talk a little slower, um, just because I'm tired. And the funny thing is, earlier I was watching a YouTube video, and it was about composing with Spitfire audio and the Spitfire sound libraries. And I didn't really have to watch it. It was more about listening. So I just closed my eyes. I ended up falling asleep on the sofa, and I woke up at 8 o'clock. I go, hey, I'm going to go to this place. So it's like, I already fell asleep, so I'm still kind of tired. But my hiking shirt and pants and just changed, and my hiking shoes and everything, and changed, and just done some trail walking tomorrow. Because I wanted to come here tomorrow and do some trail walking. So maybe I didn't think it through all the way, but what time is it? Ah, it's only 8 minutes to 11. What do you think? Should I get my guitar? I don't know. I haven't had a good old copyright claim for a while. This is great. Let me get some water. I have the black Harley Benton V with me, the Heritage. I call it. Is it the Heritage? Yeah. Very inexpensive, but very capable guitar with Roswell pickups. And I did spot leveling on the frets and polished them. And I also filed the nut for maximum playability. So, good evening. Coco, how are you? Coco, how can I get in touch with you? How can I... Look, you know my email, right? It's MJ Klein, my name, at Gmail. We're going to North Carolina. We got to hook up, okay? Phoenix really wants to meet you in person, and so do I, of course. And yeah, I'm so glad you joined. I'm here at this, like an outdoor place. This is a military bunker. And this is a remote park that's used for stargazing. It's actually not quite finished because you see the red lights doing construction. There's almost no signal, and I am using the YouTube native app. So, yeah. I've been trying to, I'm like, a long time ago, Coco, you and I communicated on Skype, and I looked up Skype, you know. I mean, I connected to Skype, and I was like, she's not in there. I can't find your contact, so contact me, please, all right? Excuse me, I want to... I'm sorry. You must be wondering why I didn't invite you back to the group. It's because I can't find you. Come on, we love you. Come on. So, please contact me, all right? Coco is a very interesting person. For those of you who don't know her, she's been one of my followers from way back when, one of my biggest supporters. And I mean, she's amazing. Her husband's from Jamaica, and they go to Jamaica, but they also live in the States, right? And she's had like a journey for the last couple of years. If I'm not mistaken, I think you bought 2 houses, but now you're actually constructing a new house of your own design, right? So, okay, well, it's my username, MJ Klein at Gmail. Listen, I have so few viewers. I mean, it's not like I'm getting a bunch of spam because I got 5 people looking at me, right? So it's not like, you know, I'm getting 400,000 views, and then all of a sudden, wow. So yeah, it's MJ Klein at Gmail. Excuse me. The minute I get a response from you, then I can reply with a link to our line group, okay? Because we got to have you back in our line group. And Rob, same for you. If you would like, if you use Line, I can add you to the line group. Matthew's there, David Osaka's there, John Ho, JL from Switzerland. There's a lot of the big streamers that you know from a long time ago. Jevons from Taiwan is there. There's just so many people. Excuse me. Gosh, what's going on? Supply. Oh, I don't know where that is. I would hope you keep up with this, but you're no idiot, but that's okay. Doesn't matter, bro. That's okay. We got an email, right? Well, this place here, Coco, is like I was saying. It was they made it to be a stargazing park, right? And it's cloudy tonight, but in the breaks in the clouds, I can see stars here that I can't see it at home. And so our auto guider is coming tomorrow from FedEx, right? And so that's going to change everything as far as it, because it's a star sense auto guider. Basically, you turn the telescope on, you tell it to align, it aligns itself. You don't have to do anything. And then Wi-Fi connects to your phone, and then you just scroll to the object that you want to see and press go. It's just amazing. But we use a USB camera, and I also have an adapter for my DSLR. And it's important that it tracks, with the rotation, right? So we're going to be coming here with my family. That's why I'm kind of scoping this out. But this bunker here is cool. Let me show you the top of it. It's like the last edited video that I did is I had some, what do you call, like bonus footage inside this thing. I stuck the 360. It was this one. So there you go. Drinking rum, got my car. I've got every excuse to just sit here and sleep. This beautiful camping chair. It supports my neck. Oh yeah. And the weather is perfect. I don't know exactly what the temperature is, but excuse me, the weather report is reporting 26 degrees here. Now, because I'm using my phone, I don't have access to my app for my weather station at home, but 26 sounds about right, and that's just about perfect. Light breeze. Relative humidity is not that high. Let me see if I can figure out what that is. Of course, 0 chance of rain, it says. Perfectly clear. No, it's not, but I mean the air is clear. 87% humidity, it says, but you don't feel it here because the breeze, it's great. It was windy today because I flew the drone and I got an error. The error. It was too windy for the drone to return on its own. But Coco, I want to ask you a question because we talked about this before. Whoa, the wind. We talked about this before. Could we possibly set up a South Carolina meetup? That's one of the things I want to talk to you about, and we can talk about that in email. But I would love to have just an open invitation. That'd be amazing. This is a nice area, it really is. And the last few videos that I did, I showed it, and I can use my the community link. I can put a link to Google Maps here, but it's a really nice area. It's not too far from my house. On a bad day, it's 20 minutes. So yeah. And we got Mr. Rob Kilo. He lives in the area, and I'm going to take a guess by his use of English. What I mean by that is he uses English correctly. He's from the UK. And we're going to do some kind of live streaming content together because he and I have some common interests. There's actually a fault line not too far, and Rob actually knows where it is, and we're going to try to find some physical evidence like cracked buildings or cracks in the road and stuff, and find this fault line and stuff like that. There's a number of things. He has a couple projects in mind. One of them is trying to document the location of one of the early Japanese railroads. So I've been to London, so you know, I found it. I gotta tell you, I found it easier to understand British people speaking than some Americans, and I don't know why that is, but anyway. And I don't mind some of the word substitutions: gasoline, petrol, wrench, spanner. That stuff doesn't bother me. It's cool. But being on camera, that would be great with a different accent. So, what is it? Also Swiss. Oh, that's cool. That's even cooler. So, can you speak German or French? Bonus points if you can. Yeah, so Coco, the thing is, right, is we're planning a trip at the end of July and all the way almost to the end of August. And it turns out that one of my sisters, fantastic, amazing. One of my sisters is moving to South Carolina too. So that's pretty cool. So I would love nothing more than come meet you and your husband, and any of your family might be visiting. It'd be great. And just put it out there. Hey, if you can come here in the weekend, I gotta figure out how much of a budget I can, like, I want to finance the whole thing, but I would love to give everybody like $1,000 each, you know, for plane fare to come out of them. Like, it would kill me. But yeah, we could finance the whole barbecue. That's what I like. I like doing things that doesn't cause my friends to have to spend money. Time is one thing, but money's another thing. So yeah, yeah. So Coco, you got my email. Thank you. I really appreciate it if you'd send me an email and we could reconnect and send you a link back to the line group, and then take it from there. I'll tell you my travel plans, where we're going to stay. The funny thing is, I'm not actually sure where my sister is going to be in South Carolina because she hasn't told me yet. My other sister told me that she's going to be there, but I don't know exactly when. So, oh my goodness. Well, let me tell you something, Matthew. You, brother man, and your family are one of the top people that I would love to meet. And I'd love to meet Rob Ebner. Haven't seen him for a while. Yeah, he's one of my biggest supporters from way back. I don't think Dave, you know, is going to fly to the States, but Dave's been to Taiwan and we met up here. You know, Dave and I have met in person. It's my turn to go there. After the summer, into the winter, I am planning a trip to Vietnam to visit an American friend of mine that lives there, and then I have in mind to go visit Dave. So maybe we can have some cool stuff to look forward to. Yeah, I would like to go geisha spotting with Dave. You know, and just that'd be fantastic together. Because you guys remember when this is back when Periscope was still around. We were doing Periscope and we were doing YouTube, and when Dave was here, you know, we went to those places and we were simultaneously broadcasting and then showing up on each other's streams. Absolutely. Yes, yes. I wish Jevons could go to the States, but all I can do is put it out there. So, absolutely, fist bump to you. Thanks, Coco. All we can do is put it out there in the line group. Hey, we're going to be here. If you guys can make it, you know, once you land. And Coco, you and I will discuss it. I actually was this before. Your other house had enough land that, you know, folks could just camp in a tent and not have to spend money in a hotel or something. That'd be fantastic. So it just depends how much of a disruption that you would want in your life. But my daughter Phoenix is very shy. But after 20 or 30 minutes, she'll warm up to you, you know. And she would love to see your gear. See, the thing about Coco is, right? Coco is a gearhead, but she doesn't let on. She's got this DJ stuff, right? And in one of her Periscope streams, she took us upstairs to the room in her house. I'm not sure if it's the one you're in or the one previous, but she was going through her massive collection of albums and showing us the gear that she has, man. And it was like, I'm like, yeah, that was so great. And so that means that the entertainment is covered. We're going to have a big party. Entertainment's covered. I'll just bring a guitar and we can do all the backing tracks you want or whatever. That's great. But I got to tell you, if I'm coming there and my family's coming there, we got to do karaoke, Taiwan style. You got to. You have to. I think it's. I think it's scriptures. I think that's Hezekiah 6:6. It's in the Bible. I think it is. I think it is. We have to do it. It's the law. We got to do Taiwan style karaoke. Hezekiah 6:6. That's a throw. But whenever I'm trying to make a point, that's the scripture. Hint: there is no book of Hezekiah. I have to tell that because most people don't know that. So, grill is ready. Oh, I love hearing that. I love hearing that. So, absolutely. In my man bag, I have a pair of Flare Audio um, earplugs that have a titanium core. Yesterday, right? You guys know I was at the Filipino place yesterday because I was in my car afterwards recuperating until I could, sober up a little, drive home. My Apple Watch, man, was beeping 95 dB. I told these guys, look, if you worked in a factory, you'd be wearing those big monster earmuffs, man. You guys right now, and you're up there on stage playing guitar. I'm like, holy cow. It's crazy. But yeah, ear splitting volume. Yeah. But now this is funny. And Rob, you're going to love this, but I happen to know a lot of Thai songs. I've been in Thailand 25 times or more, and I spent a lot of time in not just in Bangkok, but all around. In fact, I don't like Bangkok. Isan, I've been up in Laos. But here's the thing, right? Exported Thai karaoke has pinyin. All right? So once you know the melody of the song, you just read the pinyin. And I can't tell you how many times I've been to some Thai place and I look in the room and I'm looking around and I don't know any of these people, so they don't know me. I'm like, okay, it's freak out time, and I'll put a song in, and I'll grab the mic, and I'm like, Phao Rong Dead Run Fong and these people are like freaking out. And it takes them 3 or 4 songs before they realize I'm reading the pinyin, and you see them, they're going like, they're like bumping a guy. No, he's reading it, so it's hilarious. But for like 2 or 3 songs, I got him, yeah. So anyway, that's hilarious. But I played a bunch of shows with these Thai bands. I gotta read this. Bro, thank you so much. Thank you so much for mentioning the tour buses. Because listen, we all have our fantasies, right? And some people have hedonistic fantasies, whatever. You know what my fantasy is? That I invite all of my followers to Taiwan. And I put them on a bus, personally, and we basically eat our way up and down the island and look at every touristo place and all the other places that I know that's not on the, on the touristo list, right? But we sing karaoke the whole way. You guys have no idea how much fun it is. But Rob's right. And any normal person, well, let me just say this: any immigrant person who's not a native Taiwanese carries earplugs, and every 7-Eleven sells those International Coast Guard orange earplugs, the ones you can see a mile away. Because when you're in a factory, you have to have visual confirmation. You got to be able to see through, across the production floor, got your earplugs in. So you can buy those at any, convenience store. But we've all got them in our bags because he's absolutely right. But it's so hilarious to be on a trip on a bus, and the either sometimes it's like an airplane. Sometimes the monitors will fold down or they're already down, but every 3 or 4 seats there's a monitor. So you just raise your hand, and give them a number, right? And so here you are. Hey, Ann, how you doing? Ni hao, ni hao. How jiu bu jian eh? Good to see you. All right, bro. Thanks for joining. Ann, oh man, another one of my big supporters, but I don't get a chance to see her too often. She's really, really so busy. So you're driving along, right? And the funny thing about Taiwan people is, and Rob can back me up on this. 我好，你好，太好了，我喝酒了，很舒服哎。Here's the thing, right? The scenic beauty in Taiwan is so amazing that Taiwan people are kind of like desensitized to how beautiful it is. And I was on a tour bus in Malaysian Borneo with Taiwan people, and I looked out the window and I saw a waterfall that started at the top of the mountain and went all the way down as far as I could see. And they're going, oh, how re, the sun, oh, it's so hot. They were shutting the curtains and so they get to their destination. I was like, you guys are nuts, man. Look at how beautiful this is, right? I remember being at places and like first coming here and it's like overwhelming and I'm like, oh, my eyes are wet, right? And I'm like, what do you think of this? And they're like, well, where do you want to eat? Huh? Where do you want to eat? So this happens, yeah. So, right. And they sing karaoke, right? So you'll be on a bus like East Coast, okay? And the East Coast of Taiwan is, yes, yes, the East Coast is these sheer granite cliffs of granite and marble. That's where Taroko is. They call that the Grand Canyon of Taiwan, right? And I mean, you look out and it's turquoise blue. It looks like the Caribbean, and you see these little rocks out there. That's like Ishikashi and parts of Japan and stuff like. You're like, holy cow! And they just want to sing, Yo Iga man, you the shining high. It's like, oh man, oh man. It's like, you got to be kidding me. But when in Taiwan, you do what? Yes, yes, it is. That's why they call it Ilha Formosa, right? The beautiful island, because the Portuguese approached it from the Pacific, and this looming thing came up, and they're like, it's not like Pitcairn Island, which is this high. I mean, these cliffs, massive, 300, 500-meter cliffs, right? And then the mountains behind them, way up there. So it is. It is. They don't understand, right? Which explains why sometimes they'll go to places like America where you drive 600 miles and there's nothing, but 7 Waffle Houses and some rest areas. And they're like, did you see America? Yeah, it was boring. I understand why. Because in Taiwan, you can go from the mountains to the ocean one afternoon. I mean, that's a bug on my phone. Okay, wow. That's funny because I saw this bug crawling. I thought it was like a rat on here. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's really how it is. It's seriously, I'm speaking the truth, right? But you'll be on the bus, and they pass around the book. Okay, so okay. Wireless mic, your song comes on, you're riding along, The road is long. It's hilarious, man. And a lot of people think it's ridiculous, but I'm going to tell you, it's fun. It is fun. But the problem is, I don't want to do it the whole trip. Okay? Can we do it for like, can we have set a time limit? When my watch goes beep, 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 beep after 45 minutes, can we turn it off? No. Can't do it. Impossible. And if you're the one looking out the window, right? You're looking out the window and for me, I'm like taking pictures and stuff, but I'm going, oh, this is just, oh, so amazing. And you're looking out the window and people are like, huh, what? Are you okay? Yeah. What's wrong? Well, you're not singing. You're not having fun. The Pacific Ocean. So I'm always saying, is it me? 是我的问题吗？是我吗？没有, not me. It's hilarious. I want to see what this is. Yeah, exactly, Ann. Exactly. Yeah, I'm sitting next to you. Okay, because we're both going to be looking out the window, okay? You can sing too, though. But man, yeah, exactly. I'm so glad Rob brought that up. That's hilarious. About the bus. It's been a while. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. So, yes, exactly. If you look like you're introspective, right? So, the great part about it is, it doesn't matter. If you look like you're having fun, you can just sound like a rusty hinge. Doesn't matter, right? Having fun. They're like, oh, give her the mic. It's okay. She's cute. Yeah, so, yeah, that's the thing. If you look like you're introspective, you know? And the other thing, too, this is a problem that I battle with because I don't get drunk, okay? You do not. I don't get drunk. And so to some people, that means I'm not happy because they equate drunk with happy, right? And I've had this discussion so many times. I was with my wife and some guys from Taiwan, right? And stop it. You know, we'd all drank. We've been drinking for a couple hours, and they want to order another bottle. And I'm like, no, no, no. He goes, but you're not drunk. And I'm like, I don't want to be drunk. And I'm telling him in Chinese, I've drank enough. 我喝了, gola, enough. And they're like, what do you mean you've had enough? I don't want to drink anymore. Well, what do you mean you're not drunk? And I'm like, I try to explain to him. Okay, so you drink so much, what happens? You pass out. Yeah. Then you wake up the next morning and your friend said, did you have a good time last night? And they go, I don't remember. And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, you like that? He said, we could learn a lot from you because we just drink until we pass out. I'm like, oh, I can't believe you guys. Like, okay. So sometimes they're like, you know, drink, 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 drink. And I go, no, I've had enough. And they're like, are you okay? You having problems at home? Everything all right? Something bothering you? You need some money? Or it's like, no, man, I just don't want to be an idiot. But you can't say that. You just go, oh no, everything's good. I'm a little strange. I'm a strange person. Or you can say something like, I drank last night. That's what it is. So I got to read this. Yes. That's the problem. You reach that optimal level for you, but it's not for them. I want to tell you a story that happened to me in China. And it was, I'm going to say 2006. I was in Heilongjiang, which is Black Dragon Province. We were so close to Russia that I saw some white guys in the restroom. So I'm standing at the urinal. I see a white guy next to me. And I went, Здравствуйте. And he's like, Как дела? So I'm like, okay, yeah, these guys are Russians. Funny, right? Hang on. Where's my light? Hang on. Sorry. I've been training 6 styles of martial arts, and my peripheral vision is like radar. I saw some eye shine. Okay, so we're in the Black Dragon province. Let me do this because I want to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Okay, good, thank you. So, with this engineer named Mr. Chen, and he says, "Hey, we got this great local liquor." I'm like, "Okay, what's it called?" And he says it's called Bei Da Huang, which means I would translate that the Great North Wilderness. So, oh, it's buffering. Oh, sorry. Is it okay? Are we good? Buffering? Is it okay? Are we good? So he says we got this local liquor, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's white, it's really strong. Okay, good. I'm thinking, okay, this local liquor, it's white, it's really strong, and it tastes like burnt rubber, or it tastes like the place that you kiss your wife on the neck after she's put perfume on. Okay. So it's called Bei Da Huang, which I would translate as the Great North Wilderness. He says, okay, they got three types. They've got 40%, 60%, 80%. They were talking about alcohol. We're not talking about proof, this is percent. I'm like, okay, well, let's go with the one in the middle. We'll get 60%. Okay. Now this, let's just say, this was before I was a practicing Christian. I just want to make this clear, okay? This was a long time ago. So, two little restaurant glasses, you know what I'm talking about this big, right? I drank two of those glasses. And I swear to God, I was like, I needed a gyroscope because I was like spinning and like I didn't know up from down. So I said, let's change to beer. He said, okay, that was a big mistake. But as I was drinking, and the thing is, right, is he would have just kept going. If I never said let's switch back to beer, he would have kept drinking until we both would have been like just wiped out, right? So in my stupor, I took a look at the bottle and I'm looking at the Chinese and I was like, now I understand. He's like, what? Well, the Great White Wilderness. Why do they call this liquor the Great White Wilderness? And he said, why? I said, dude, two glasses and you're there. And I thought he was going to die laughing. Whoo! Whoa, that was weird. Okay, sorry. I wasn't expecting to pick that up and have a big stink bug stuck on the side of that. Whoa. So yeah, two glasses and you're there. You're in the Great White Wilderness. But hey, that was China in 2006. So, well, at least they didn't go in here. So we're running down. We're about here, about to there. Now I brought one of my guitars, and I brought a beautiful little battery-powered amp that does some amazing amplifier simulations. It's got a little wireless transmitter on it, so yeah, it was still cool. It was cool. But I will say this. Whoa. Yeah, this hat is really tight, and for this thing to almost come off, you heard it. The first time I went there, that was 2006. No, 2004. And yeah, sort of. Yeah. You're right about that because I was not allowed to go outside of my hotel in 2004. I was Sunday morning. One thing I hate is people telling me what to do. don't know. I'm used to personal freedoms. So I go to my room, and the elevators open into a small hall. And then there's a big, long, like, hallway. So it looks like a T, okay? You step out of the elevator, and so they put me at the far end of this long hall, all the way at the end, the last room. And they put a woman in a chair in the center, right in front of the elevators, you know, all night long. She was my monitor, and I knew it. So you know me, right? I would rattle the doorknob and look out the peephole, and sure enough, looking around. Or I would open it up, look out, and she was, you know, and she would jump up and like, oh, Mesa, Mesa, you know, running right. So I don't know what they wanted, but like at 6 o'clock in the morning, look, man, you know, I was a rock star. I was a record producer. Now I'm an engineer at manufacturing. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I don't care who you are. I'm not opening the damn door, okay? It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. They knock like for 5 minutes. I didn't open the door. They're probably going to bring me hot water or something anyway. Train whistle in the background sounded like Petticoat Junction. Woo, woo. And I looked out the window, steam train, coal. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Haven't seen that. But I looked out the window, and it's like I was back in time like 70 years or something, right? So finally, I get up and I get ready to go out of my room, and I open the door, and she comes running down. She'd been there all night, man. It's like, didn't you have to pee? I mean, so she comes running down only to walk with me. So we get to the elevator. She steps in the elevator with me and pushes the button for floor 1. So I looked at her. I said, "Xiaojie, wo wei yong dian di." I said, "Miss, I know how to operate an elevator." And then she scooted out and the door shut. So it goes down 1 floor because I'm on the 2nd floor. It goes down. They just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to go somewhere else, although I don't know why. It doesn't make any difference. So I went to the 1st floor, and there's a guy there at the 1st floor ready to meet me. So he's my handler for the 1st floor. So I step out of the elevator, and he does, and this drives me nuts. I got to tell you, there's one thing about Asia that drives me nuts is the person who's always leading you. Even if it's the only place that you can go. If you're in a hallway, they're going like this. And I'm like, duh, to myself, right? I get off the elevator, and the guy goes, "This way, sir." I go, "What?" He goes, "This way, sir." Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here's the thing. If they're going to speak English to me, I'm going to speak English to them. I'm going to make them own up to the English. Because 95% of the time, my Chinese is better than their English, but they started it. So I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You didn't ask me where I want to go. He goes, "Well, you have to go this way." Why? And I had my bush hat on, which is very similar to this. Why? You must have your breakfast. I have not eaten breakfast in 30 years, which at the time was true. Get off my phone. It's only been recently that I started eating breakfast and embracing breakfast again. I never eat breakfast. There was a time when food in the morning, the thought of food in the morning made me nauseous. It's weird. I wouldn't eat until the evening. I don't eat breakfast. And I turned around and walked away. And I glanced back, and he was literally like, see, in that society, nobody says no. You must do this. They're like, okay. That's not how I roll. So, you're gonna love this. This hotel reminded me so much of Soviet style. It's not funny. Huge, 3-story high lobby, these monster granite round columns, right? And it had a beautiful globe in the center. It's nice. So I immediately tagged 3 guys. This is Sunday morning. I immediately tagged 3 guys mentally. These are handlers. So what I would do is, it's kind of like a moose in the forest. It's really hilarious. I don't know if you guys know anything about moose, but a moose will hide behind a sapling, and as long as the moose's eye is like this, the moose thinks you can't see it. But so I'm doing like a moose, right? And I'm walking along, and there's a column, and I'm like this, and then I'll disappear behind a column, and I'll watch him, and then the guy will move until I can see him. So it was absolutely hilarious, right? So yeah, exactly. That's the kind of stuff that goes on, right? Oh. So here's what I did. First of all, there was a guy installing carpet on Sunday morning. So yeah, of course it would be. The last time I was in Thailand was right before the pandemic. I mean, like January and February of 2020, right? And there were all kinds of Chinese accents around us. A couple Taiwanese people, but mostly I was in the elevator. I was hearing accents from all over China, and I was just watching one lady, China lady. She went to the buffet 8 times. I mean, I was like, "Your waist is this big? What do you got? A hollow leg? What do you? Where you?" It's probably put in a bag, and who knows? Because a lot of times they rob the buffet, put it in a bag, and eat it for lunch. It was terrible. I would go in there and I would say loudly in Chinese, "Where's all the food? Who ate all the food?" Nobody's going to say anything to me, right? Because I'm this much taller. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. So, didn't offer breakfast. Not for free anyway. But yeah. So here I am in the lobby of this Soviet era grandiose hotel, 60 kilometers, 100 kilometers from the Russian border, and nobody's there. It's in a city called Hegang. It's 1 million people, but there's nobody there. Oh, you stayed in cheap hotels? Yeah, well, good for you. There's nobody there. So I look out the window, and I see snow with black dust on it from coal. I go, this is Buffalo, New York, man. What are you? This is like, this place is crazy, right? If you've ever been to Buffalo, you know what I'm talking about. You don't want to. It's like it's a nice place to visit, but let's get the heck out of here as soon as we can. So I make a joke. Sorry, I shouldn't say this, but any town where the main drag is called Dick Road, you don't want to stick around, okay? So here's what happened. I'm in the lobby, and I'm playing cat and mouse with these handlers, and there's a guy rolling carpet, but he's pushing the carpet roll, and he's looking at me, and pushing the carpet roll, and looking at me. I go, "Are you kidding me? Is this guy a handler too?" But he's disguising himself as a work. It's 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and he's putting carpet in. So yeah, yeah. Well, we don't name them, right? We don't name them. We just drive them. So I play this cat and mouse game, and all of a sudden I'm walking up to the globe, and I'm looking at it. It's really interesting, and I'm walking all around. I see these guys, and I disappear behind another column. But what I did was I zigzagged, and I made my way to the door. And I swear I'm not lying to you guys. This is 2006. It was the winter 2006. I walked up to the door as if I was going to leave, and 3 men jumped in front of the door and went like this. And they physically restrained me. And they said in English, "No, go outside, no outside, no outside." know what I did? I decided that the thing to do was mess with that guy's mind. And I got a plate of food at the buffet, the breakfast buffet, and I ate it in front of him. After I told him I hadn't eaten breakfast for 30 years. Mess with the bull, you get the horn, right? Right, right. And they don't, right. And and it's in the open, and you know it. And so you can ask them, so you're my handler, right? So if I give you extra money, you can give me some like local liquor, right? And they're like, of course. Exactly. Yeah. Because Dave, our pal Dave in Osaka, he's been in North Korea 2 times, I think, at least. Amazing. I'd love to go, but because I'm an American citizen, it complicates things. Bad. Boy, does it complicate things. It's questions that have to be answered. So yeah. Yes. But you got to be careful around the monuments. Like a guy laid down to put his phone down or his camera down to get the perfect shot, but because he was laying down, they said, "Oh, you're not respecting the emperor." So yeah, crazy. That's hilarious, man. But here's what happened. My wife and I went back together. This was a year before we were married. We were traveling together. In 2006, we went to the same place. Now, she wasn't with me the first time. She came with me the second time, right? I had met her in the interim. Completely open. It was amazing. In 2006, I walked down the street like I was the king of Hegang. It was amazing. And I went to this one place, right? And on the corner was a little tea shop, kind of an open, like a stall, where he opened the shutters kind of thing. Kind of like a newspaper stand, I guess. And he's selling tea, and he's talking really loud, and he says in Chinese, "Hey, look, it's a Russian guy." I told him, I says, "Watch this." So let me read this. Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? If you just behave yourself and you're polite, yeah, you won't get in trouble. And you're right. They want to make money off you, and so especially if you tip them. Hell yeah, man. That's the way to go. So this guy's like, "Oh look, it's a Russian." So my wife, I said, "Watch this." I reached in my pocket and I put my passport down the table. It said United States of America. This guy screams. He goes, "It's an American! This guy's American! American guy's here! American guy's here!" Right? I'm like, "Oh crap!" 50 people were there, like 100 people were there in like 3 seconds, and they're all surrounding me, and they're like, just 1,000 questions, talking so fast. I'm like, I got to get out of here, And people are starting to like, they want to touch, which is like my friend John Garrett, who actually went to Russia to work on a. This is during the era of glasnost and perestroika. He worked on a documentary film, and he visited a Russian guy, and the Russian guy actually said to him, he goes, "Now I know it's true. There actually are Americans. It's not a rumor." And I think in these closed societies, I think that's a thing. I think maybe they think that, you know, people who live in a land that's free, well, supposedly, I just think, you know, sounds too good to be true when you're on that side, right? Anyway, it was pretty interesting. So, I kind of had a blast walking around. Hey, yeah, whatever. I'm not Russian, so yes, free for now. I'm not Russian, but if you want, I can speak some Russian for you. But it's hilarious. So, did meet a couple Russian guys. Listen, man, I forgot. Let me tell you, I forgot my Russian. I can say like my name, where I'm from, where I live, and you know, stuff like, where's the vodka? But seriously, you don't use these languages. You forget them because the first Asian language that I studied was Korean. At one time I was fluent. Man, my Thai now is better than my Korean. It's crazy. So this is what happens. You know, concentrating on Chinese here in Taiwan. It's, you know, it's just how it is. Uh, but I'm sure if I, you know, go into another environment, it kind of comes back. What I thought was interesting. This is hilarious. Of course, everybody knows I was. My family and I, we went to France last year. We took a side trip to England, but we stayed with Patrick Mayu and his wife, right? And of course, Patrick's English is amazing. We wouldn't have gone. We would not have gone on that trip if it wasn't for Patrick and his wife inviting us into their home. They have two homes, one in Lyon, right? But when we were in Marseille, Patrick actually inherited a telescope from somebody in the family, and it's a 12-inch Meade reflector. It's a Dobsonian with a guiding system. It's actually an amazing telescope. And he had the manual. And he says, well, how do I work this and what do we do? We're looking at it together, and the manual's in French. And so I was reading the manual. Now, I can't speak French, but reading it is really not that big of a problem. I mean, it's based on Latin, right? And so my wife was there. Now, this is typical, okay, guys? This is typical Taiwan thinking. My wife says, this is in French. I go, yeah. She said, well, can you read this? I gotta read what this says. Hold on. It says, oh yes. There's something about that that's absolutely true. Because many languages are linked. And even though it's Chinese, there are some things that, yes, I know what you mean. I don't know if it has to do with, you know, synapses in the brain or whatever, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think your brain becomes like, it turns into a mode where it's, you know, it's like foreign language learning. I really think it does. And so I was looking at the manual. My wife says, can you read that? And of course, English is backwards from every other language. But I said, yeah, you know, this is talking about how you set up the computer and then, you know. And she said, so you can read French? I go, well, I mean, not perfectly, but, you know, and I said, you know, and Patrick was there. I said, you know, it says this and that. And he says, yeah, that's right. I said, yeah, I guess I can read it enough to understand it. And she goes, good, we can live here. I wish it was that simple. Basically, you're right. It is. It is. You know, it is. And the funny thing is, you can't do like Spanish, especially. You know, the music people, la gente de música, the people of music. But you can't do it the other way. And of course, you know, Chinese grammar is totally backwards relative to English. But when I read Chinese, I think for me it makes more sense because they'll say like concerning the person who used to work at this company relative to this blah blah blah, and then they'll go into, you know, so it's pretty interesting how it works. So but yeah, what time is it, man? It's 23:46. I gotta check one thing here really quick, see if I can pull this down without ending this. We have, oh, we have 3%. 3% power left on this phone. So I told you guys that I was going to go until the power was out, right? So it could be any time. The problem is it'll buffer. And then so, oh yes, the, hang on, I got to read this again. So yes, you're absolutely right about learning Latin. Yes. That, oh man, oh man. That, oh, you guys are amazing. Both of you. Yeah, I imagine that learning, I mean, because then you can go Italian and even Portuguese, which when I listen to Portuguese, it's like it blows my mind, right? But of course, French and like when we were in Leon, I'm looking at all these Roman ruins. Like these people all had to have some kind of mutually intelligible language. Of course, it's amazing. So, yeah, you guys, you polyglots, man, make me feel stupid. Hilarious. Portuguese is wild. There's a channel that I like to. Yes, yes, I can imagine it would be. I can really imagine it would be a lot easier. There's a YouTube channel that I follow, and they're two young women who are in Amazonia on the river, and the name of the channel in English is like people of the Amazonian riverside, and it's two young girls, and it's amazing, and they talk in oh really, okay, because you haven't used it, right? That's why. Hate that. But they talk in Portuguese, and I get like, of course, there's subtitles, right, in English. I get like one word out of 500 in Portuguese. It's amazing. But if they spoke Spanish, I get a lot more. But yeah, exactly. I mean, I watch sometimes Portuguese TV, and I'm not trying to be disparaging because I don't. That's not my style. But it almost doesn't sound like a language. It just sounds like noise. And quite honestly, that's how Vietnamese sounds to me. But to each his own. So I read that somebody said years ago, a Japanese person said that the first time they heard English, they said it sounded like dogs vomiting. Okay, probably. That's just how it is. So here it is. We're on a. Yes, it does. It does. And you know what the other language that sounds like to me, to my ears, smooth together is Dutch. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Portuguese, like, but when I hear Dutch, it sounds like somebody took a bunch of languages and went shook it up, and I there's another one. At least with French, I can go okay, yeah, okay. So there's a sentence. I got 3 or 4 words out of it, right? So, but Dutch, there's a, I'm interested in certain kinds of sports cars, and a guy did a review of this sports car, right, in Dutch, and I'm like, he sounded like Klaatu, Day the Earth Stood Still. All of the syllables and the sounds are normal. He said like Dengus and, even like Klaatu, Verada, Nikto. There's nothing like, it's not like, you know, or like this hard, there's just easy things to say, but I can't relate to any of them. And that's how Dutch is to me. So that's another one. But then again, all Dutch people are bilingual. So it's interesting. Interesting topic. And what's more interesting is, how long is this phone gonna last? I mean, I could run to the car, get my bag, and plug the battery bank in, but how much fun would that be? Gosh, we've been on 151 minutes. Yeah, I've heard that. And I think, um, to some degree, I think German people can can understand some Dutch and vice versa. But I will tell you the coolest thing ever. I was in a studio back in 2001, and there were two very, very interesting looking women. Very white teeth, beautiful white teeth. Their hair was a strange color. It was brown, but it wasn't dark. It was light brown. and their skin wasn't dark, but it wasn't like my color skin. It was, I don't know, it was hard to describe. And they were talking this language that I just couldn't nail down at all. But we're all in the studio together, on this session, and so I know it wasn't. So I interrupted him. I excused myself. I said, "Excuse me, ladies. I find this really interesting. Do you mind if I ask you what language you're speaking?" And they smiled. They go, "Oh, we're speaking Icelandic." I was like, "Oh, the mother of the Norwegian family of languages." Like, okay, we just traveled back in time 2 centuries, or 2 millennia, whatever. I was like, "Do you mind? I'm just gonna stand here." So like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I'm like, "Do you mind? I'm, I won't say anything. I'm just gonna stand here, and I just want to listen." They're like, "Sure." And I'm like, I was looking. It was really cool. The sounds they were making. So really, because I asked one of my friends from Norway about Norwegian, and I said, what's the difference? And he said that Icelandic is actually, because it's an island, and they've been separated, for a long time. It's only been in modern times that we've had the connections. But he said that was the mother of Norwegian. Because I kind of had it backwards. I said, did Icelandic come from Norwegian? He goes, no, it's the other way around. All Norwegian came from Icelandic. So that's cool. But it's a tonal language. They have 3 tones. But what I think is so cool is the whole thing about the son and the daughter, right? The screech